Hey there, guys. Welcome to the Boru Podcast. My name is Brian, and
Craig. Hola.
Merry Christmas. This is our Christmas episode, and what should we talk about to Christmas?
Well, we're watching Hoarders on Christmas, which is kind of appropriate because people want all this stuff and they don't know what to do with it. like 40 pots and sets of pots and pans.
That's weird.
How many pots do you need? Well, anyway, I got distracted.
We actually are not decorating this year since we don't have any decorations yet.
Well, and we moved into a brand new place, and so that's kind of our Christmas present. So.
Yeah, it's in a bigger place. I actually like this bigger place, than the last one.
It's definitely easier for me to move around. It's flatter, no stairs, 2.5 flights to get to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's easier for you to. The stairs are kind of like since you have mobility issues, it causes a lot of problems, when you're walking up and down all stairs, and but maybe like after the Christmas is around, finishes up and everything, maybe we could get some some Christmas stuff, because I think something said that was it cab driver said that there was sales afterwards. Yeah,
there's sales and all that stuff afterwards. So we do have a fireplace, so I'm thinking tomorrow and. I got some Presto logs, seeing how the fireplace works.
Yeah.
Gonna do a pork roast, and we've got something called a chocolate bomb.
Oh.
I have no idea what it is.
Some kind of pastry.
No, it's not a pastry. It's like a Christmas pie, but
pudding.
But it doesn't have the Christmas pudding. Yeah, that's what it is. So.
I don't know. I'm like, we're supposed to be heading since we moved out of the United States. We're now living in Ireland. We've been here for a year, so we haven't really gotten any decorations or anything like that. So I'm hoping maybe like after the New Year's or whenever the sales are up, can get that for next Christmas. So, but we are supposed to be heading into Derry. Since we are in Letterkenny, one of my uncles is going to pick us up apparently. So I gotta get in touch with him to see what time he is going to pick us up. We're gonna be spending a day there, so this would be kind of like a nice treat, spending time with them and all that kind of stuff. So
lots of kids, lots of food. She's an excellent cook, so
yeah. So
nice.
But
I wonder if they're gonna have Christmas crackers.
I don't know if they celebrate that, in my family.
Yeah.
They probably just make like a big feast or something like that, so.
Yeah. Well, if they do, I like to wear a little tiara.
You want a little
tiara instead of the crown.
Yeah. So I don't know. What's your favorite part of Christmas, I guess?
Christmas really isn't about gifts for me. I was alone for so many years that it's kind of, for me, it's just being around people that I really want to be around that. And I miss our cats. We had to give our cats up in the States, but I enjoy being around Brian. And I think I'm looking forward to going to Maggie's house tomorrow to be around the family, it's nice to be invited somewhere to Christmas, which means you're been thinking of. So for me, it's probably the food and being around someone that I like and watching Christmas come in. And I always like to watch the Pope doing his Christmas.
I wonder if they have it this year.
Yeah.
Here in Ireland.
It's Ireland, so I'm sure they do.
I guess
I'm sure they do. But for me, that's kind of what Christmas is all about.
Your family gets
and
together.
Don't forget the hot buttered rum.
Oh yeah, can't forget about the rum.
Anyway, what is yours?
I don't know. I guess I mean I've always was happy around Christmas, and there was always this special Christmas magic in the air. That I don't know, that just brings a lot of people to come together and all that kind of stuff. So with being grateful and happiness and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you think about it, I'm like, some people are pretty worse about that. It's just it's
miserable. Yeah.
Some people are miserable. I mean, you know what? I don't understand. Why single people are so. They're so worried in their own world that they're going to be lonely for the rest of their lives. Especially around the Christmas time. And I came across with a couple of people that they just recently got together with their new partner, I guess, and they're pretty much happy about it, I guess. But I mean, I like the family get together, family, friends, feasts, all this good festivity, just being thankful that with that we are better off right now than, I mean, some people aren't better off. Some people are practically homeless.
Yeah.
And I mean, I cannot picture myself being homeless, and it'd be hard to. I think that once you're homeless, it's really hard to be able to pick yourself up.
It is, but it takes.
You were homeless at one time, right?
Yeah, but only for like a month, and I was lucky. I figured out what to do right away. But problem is, when you're homeless, you don't have an address, you don't have a shower. It's hard to clean yourself up to go out and find a work, and and clean yourself to get into an apartment, and then first, last, and security, and all that kind of stuff. And it's hard. I mean, and you don't have an address, so you don't have a phone, which the government hands out cell phones now. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult, and and it's hard living out of a backpack. It's kind of like but
I just think that's kind of scary, because there were times that close to Christmas time and it's snowing, and I just went out for walks at night, and I just like figuring. Thinking back, on those walks, I thought about what it would be like being homeless and not being able to go back to home or some kind of shelter or anything. It's just, I just can't see myself like that. And I think it'd be kind of a weird way of living. I've never been homeless before.
That's one of the reasons why now the first thing I do is pay the rent, and then when I had cats, buy cat food, and then and then pay off everything else, and but I always make it a priority to secure a home first, because if you've ever been without a home, you just kind of have to do that, because you don't realize how many people live on the edge of being close to being without a home. Anyway.
I'm originally from New York, so I've seen a lot of homeless people in the city, and they're begging, and it must be like a really awful feeling. About that, and when I was growing up, there was one around the area, and me and my sister used to always talk to her, and I'm like, when we were younger, I mean, I know it's kind of like a little immature to do, but we were just kids. She always had this crocheted or a knitted hat, and she must have had really long hair, and we used to take little pebbles and bounce it off against her hat or something. So as we got a little bit older, we started talking to her, and she happens to be like a really nice woman. But
I used to, whenever I went out to eat, people that don't know me, my favorite style of food is Chinese food, and my mom always ordered 5 or 6 things because, and I picked up on that. I like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, so I order that, spend about $30-$40 on Chinese food, and then eat my portion, and then go by the soup kitchens and give out the leftovers to the to the people waiting in line.
Was that you volunteering?
No, I just used to do that because I didn't want to throw it away, and it wanted to give some purpose, and to me it was giving somebody food versus, you never know when people are asking for $5 if it's going towards food or if it's going towards liquor. And it's a very hard situation. I've walked a few people in and bought them like a cheeseburger and stuff.
Yeah, I've I lived in Ireland, for 9 years in the 90s, and I worked with the homeless people, and me and my boss, one day we just saw this homeless person, and my boss asked if there was something that we could be able to do, and he's then all of a sudden, before he even answered, we just went over to the shop and we got him some hot coffee and something to eat. So I think we've done that a couple of times every Christmas time, and it just kind of like, I don't know, it came like a tradition sort of thing, So because he always was at the same place,
Well, the sad thing is I've worked in restaurants and grocery stores, and I see so much waste when you throw people food in the garbage, and it's perfectly good food. They would have us pour bleach all over it to destroy it, and I feel that I don't understand why waste all that food when you can take it, somewhere and give people food, because there's a lot of hunger in this world. There's a lot of decadence and people overeating, but there are people that are truly hungry, and that's, I've been hungry, so and I know, and it's one of the worst feelings in the world, but I don't understand why we continue to waste so much food. And their attitude was, well, it's for liable reasons. It's like, no, that's not it. I don't get it. Anyway.
And was that when you were a chef?
Yeah, and at the grocery stores,
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's just you see so much stuff that's thrown out just because it got an expiration date, which is still, you could eat it, But anyway, I just but there's a lot of things in this world that I don't understand, and I don't know if I ever will.
I don't know. Maybe more like in time.
Yeah.
One of these days, I don't know. I guess you probably will.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just I guess it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I remember one time that with when my brother, when he was in the military, I was. It was one time that I think I told you this. I've sat by at the window around Christmas time and just waiting for him to come home. On Christmas, because maybe he might have gotten lucky or something like that. But he never came home. Until his duty was finished. So it would have been nice if he would have came home. But I think that around that time, I was like in a really bad state of depression. I don't know why I was depressed. I just was depressed.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't know. But I'm like, he never came home, but until I don't know. I'm glad to see that he's still around, and he was around that time. He was in Desert Storm,
Yeah.
which was around 90, 91. So but I guess they stopped the fight or something, and when because he was the second base, the second part of the group that to go in, so but yeah, I think that it would have been really nice if he would have came home, but he never did. So during that time, so
sometimes I wonder if that stuff just only happens on TV.
I don't know.
I don't know. I hear story of soldiers doing that. I don't know. I don't know if it's the lottery system or if they just draw numbers or how that works.
There's a time that when I lived in Arizona, there were a couple of times that I saw some military people, and I did thank them, because I did approach them, and I did tell them that, thank you for serving our country and all that kind of good stuff. So I think that makes them more appreciated that they're doing a job right.
Yeah, it does.
You don't have any family that was in the military, right?
No, but when I was like 10, I had a friend. Oh, not a friend. He was an older friend. I think it was like a pen pal, and he was in the Army, and then he got out of the Army and moved to Alaska. And I think I kept in contact with him for about another 15 years or so. But other than that, there was a big Air Force base in the small town that I grew up in, Oregon. And so I was always around military. Oh, that's how I knew the guy. That's right, from there. But there was a huge Army base. But no, there hasn't. Other than my stepfather was an MP in Germany. Yeah, he liked that job. But other than that, no. I didn't have to go because of my age. I had to legally register in 1980 when they did the draft again. Started up after Vietnam, but
oh yeah, they had those draft things.
Yeah, but there was no conflict at that time. But I remember I had to legally register, and if you don't register, you can't get student loans. You can't get all this other stuff. And so I was torn about not registering, but then I thought, well, I have to. So, because at that time it was only like about 5 years since Vietnam, and there was my brother almost had to go, but the war ended for him. But
so he actually had the letter? No.
He had to register.
Oh, right.
He had to register, but the war was already over. But I don't know. I think I would not have done well in the military, because if somebody
I don't think I would either.
Somebody would have told me to bend over and pick something up, I'd say no.
I would probably suck.
I'm not doing it. So but anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I admire the people that do and are, and I admire our servicemen, whether it be policemen, firemen, or whatever, anyone that does that kind of stuff, that dedicates their life and their time, and I do respect that. And I know there's a lot of disrespect towards policemen right now, especially in the United States, and just like any other job. There's bad, but the bad really aren't that many. There's more good than there is bad. So, and it's like anything in life, whether it's priest or, anyone, there's good and there's bad. There's just, life, You can't judge, a few bad apples,
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to this Christmas. It'll be my first Christmas out of the United States, and so the main thing I'm having trouble is adjusting is that my family's on the Pacific Northwest, and it's like an 8 hours you know, earlier. So to you know, I find myself getting up at 4 in the morning to contact, like,
to even talk to your mom,
to my mom and stuff. So, but you know, when I was traveling around Europe, I did it for a couple summers. It's a lot different now because, you know, there's Skype and there's FaceTime that doesn't cost you anything. Back when I was traveling around, you know, just to make a phone call back to the States for like a 10-minute phone call, it was like $10, you know, it was very expensive. So I like the fact that, you know, through FaceTime and Skype, you know, you can video chat and, you know, and it's free, you know, so that really
that kind of like
helps a lot.
It saves money.
It saves a lot of money.
A lot of money, but...
And plus, you got the video, so you can actually see them versus just talking to them, so that helps.
I don't know, do you think that they will do away with phones one of these days?
I doubt it, but...
Because I guess you do need it for the internet.
Yeah. Although there's a lot of stuff coming out right now about the radio waves that the cell phones produce, that they can cause cancer, especially when you hold them up to your ear. Like some people walk around with them all day, you know, that you can get brain cancer and stuff. But you know, that's like radon gas. I mean, it's in the air, you know, so it's not everywhere. So, you know, I mean, it reaches the point where, you know, is the air that we breathe killing us? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Although the one thing I do miss is that, and it'll probably get better next year, is that, like, for Thanksgiving, there was no Thanksgiving, and now I really wanted pumpkin pie, and I really wanted a few things, and apparently in Ireland and the UK, there is no such thing as pumpkin pie.
I have not seen pumpkin pie here in Ireland.
No, and this year, I always like to buy eggnog starting about right before Halloween.
I haven't seen
eggnog either. And I don't really have the proper pots, or, you know, to make eggnog, so looks like it's going to be a non-eggnog year.
Huh.
But there's brandy to go in the eggnog.
Of course, we need brandy.
We need brandy. Too bad I'm not one of them moonshiners. I can make my own brandy. Probably be the most popular guy on the block.
That would be a perfect gift.
Perfect gift.
What was your favorite gift, you know, growing up?
My favorite gift? I can tell you my worst gift. My grandmother on my dad's side bought a bunch of Argyle socks and put them in a box of the toy that I wanted and wrapped them up. And so when I saw the box, I thought, cool, I got this great toy. And then to open up, it's like, well, Argyle socks. And I knew better. I knew better because my mom had raised as well to smile and say, thank you, Grandma. In the meantime, in my mind, I'm going, my actually best one was probably, I was into maps when I was a kid, and it had two advantages. It was the biggest present under the tree, but my aunt got me a globe, a world globe, and I remember I was so excited about that. Anyway, you go.
You know, I've actually, I don't know, the ones that I actually remember, and I remember, I think I must have been like at least 7 or 8, and I remember being really surprised, you know, because I was the only one that, out of the 4 of us, you know, had this huge, Christmas present, and
I knew it. Anyway,
let me close this down. I mean, I've actually, the one that I remember was when I had the train set that I had.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know the tracks were metal, and it was a really big box. You know, it was actually my height, you know, at that time. You know, and I was, you know, pretty happy about it, and I was assembling the tracks and all that kind of stuff. So I was really happy with that. And I mean, just think about the trains that they have now for you know, for the kids. You know, I mean, kids are kind of grateful these days. I mean, you have all these, like, they all want these electronics. Such as the iPads. I've seen a lot of kids, using iPads.
Gifts are definitely a lot more expensive for kids than they were.
It's not like when it was when we were growing up.
When I was younger.
It's just.
And we were given, one or two things, and that was it,
They have no idea, compared to our world, growing up, of how grateful they are than we were growing up. We had like plastic toys, and you got kids these days. They have all computerized stuff. Laptops, cell phones. A 6-year-old having a cell phone, I can never understand that.
Well, no, I understand because my mom had 2 kids when I was in high school, and she got them cell phones when they were 6 because she wanted to know where they were and contacting them. But those were basic cheap phones. They're not like $1,000 iPhone. Kids don't need $1,000 iPhone.
No, they don't. I remember having walkie-talkies too, and that was the fun thing growing up as well. I just needed a friend to walkie-talkie with.
You mean a real friend, not an imaginary friend? Yeah, Christmas is always a good time for me. Even when I was going through hard times, I always enjoy it. The one thing I like about Christmas, and I don't know if it's necessarily true anymore, but the world stops and grows quiet, and the streets are empty, and there isn't really a lot of the war stop and stuff. Although with the latest terrorism stuff, I have a feeling something's going to happen Christmas Day this year, but we'll see. But that's always nice, and people always wish you well. And although in Ireland, people do wish you well constantly.
Practically every day, even if it's not Christmas.
Yeah.
They do it every single day.
Yeah.
You pass by a total stranger and they'll say hi.
Yeah, and
and
wish you all the best and that kind of stuff. So it's different over here, which I really enjoy that.
Different culture than the United States.
People talk to you versus when you say hi, they look at you like, what do you want?
Such attitude back in the States. I was like, excuse me for talking.
Yeah. But the one thing I don't like about Christmas is I hate malls and I hate crowds.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
Our little small town here in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, which is in the south of Ireland, excuse me, the towns are crowded, and the people are just crazy, and it's like that's the one thing I do not like. But other than that, I like the street decorations, the trees, the lights. I hate to say it, but kind of that Las Vegas glitter, with the lights. It's like, ooh, isn't that pretty? Oh, that's pretty. Oh, look, that's pretty.
You really enjoyed back in 2009 when we went to the city of Rockefeller Center and all that kind of stuff.
Well, nobody does Christmas like New York City. I'm sorry. There's just New York City does Christmas the best. It's just beautiful. And to me, if there's a snowfall, and it's good, and it's not dirty snow, it just makes it more like Christmas. I think my favorite Christmas was in Vermont last year because there was a lot of snow and
up to your knees,
and we had the cats before we got rid of them, and the cats always were a very important part of the Christmas because Bella would knock the tree over. It's like almost every day, and like they're just it's just fascinating. But anyway.
Yeah. So remember that time that we went to DC and
yeah.
You wanted to go somewhere. What was it? The library or no?
The Library of Congress.
The Congress.
Because I wanted to look at this specific rare magazine.
And I just hate waiting.
Which they actually turned out they didn't have. But I do have my Library of Congress ID card with my picture on it. Cool.
Yeah, I just ended up going back to the hotel, and then all of a sudden, I waited in the lobby for about 2 hours. I think it might have been 2 hours, and there was no sign of you, and it was dark out. It was 7 o'clock. I went back up there to the Congress Library, and it was closed. I said, where is this guy? And I was starting to worry, and tears were coming down my face, going like, because I was freaking out, because and then I went back to oh, that's right, I put up a note, at the door, of the hotel, and that note, I don't know, was that note still there when I came back?
Yeah.
Or did you see the note?
Yeah.
You did, yeah. So I've actually, when we got back, we finally met up, and we were really hungry, and we went to the hotel. we went to the hotel restaurant, and we were sitting down. We were both freaking out. It's like we all, we had like tears coming down our face. We finally met. We found you, and my worst thing was, I didn't know if you're gonna find the hotel again. Because you didn't know the area. I didn't know the area, but I kind of like backtracked my steps.
Yeah.
So the way the hotel was laid out, I knew where it was. I just went down just the one street and then over. I think that's the way it worked. That's the way the layout was. So I mean, that was a scary time, around Christmas time.
Yeah.
So but that was a really scary moment. I don't think I ever had scary moments before. But I don't know. I kind of miss that I'm not gonna be with my family, back in Connecticut.
Yeah, but we weren't always with them over Christmas anyway, so I think we only spent like 2 Christmases with them out of the 10 years that I've been with you.
It was fun, to be with them, and getting to know my nieces and nephews, and it was kind of funny because my sister's niece, she she came over to visit my other sister, and she all the attention was on her, and she was opening up her presents, and there was one present that she didn't like because she even actually said it, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, that was great," and she goes, "Oh, I hate it," and she threw it against the side of her.
I wanted the blue one.
And my sister's like, why'd you do that? It's a present. Be grateful. She said, I don't care. I don't like it.
Yeah, it was fun. I think the last time we were with your family was a couple years ago, and they had just bought these 2 adorable little puppies, and that was fun. The puppies kept jumping in my lap and trying to get everywhere and stuff. It was fun. I love kittens and puppies. Unfortunately, they grow up.
Yeah, but what I find different about the dogs and the cats grow into an actual size. They're not like dogs where you could get dogs different sizes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I've seen dogs online that they're like at the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and then you've got like horses. Some are the size of horses.
I know. Why can't cats be that small? That makes them more cute.
Yeah.
I mean, not that adult cats are cute, but I mean, that makes them more a little cuter. If they're sitting in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. The one thing I do miss this year is I normally bake about 10 different kinds of Christmas cookies, anywhere from snickerdoodles to sugar cookies to, all that kind of stuff. The pecan ones and the ones with the Hershey's Kisses. But, I normally make I normally make rum balls. And
God, you make the size of baseballs.
Well, yeah, they're supposed to be the size of golf balls, but I make them like softballs. And instead of like a quarter cup of rum, I usually put a cup and then I roll them up into a ball and put them on a vanilla wafer, and then cover them with chocolate ganache. And I always have to warn people because they're huge. It's like, I'll give you one, but you're not driving. Oh, I can handle anything. And it's like, sure enough.
I thought I could handle them.
They're strong.
But I didn't feel any buzz or anything, And he said, Brian, you better watch out. And then all of a sudden you say, you're drunk.
I love them, and to me, it's like, why mess with 4 small ones? You may as well have one.
What is the actual size? Because I never saw the actual size of rum balls.
They're actually golf balls.
Oh, golf balls? You made the size of salt balls?
Salt balls, yeah.
No wonder I got drunk fast.
I got the. I learned the recipe when I went to culinary school. So it's kind of funny. Yeah, because normally you don't dip them in chocolate, but that was one thing that I learned from them. So anyway, things like that. But next year we will have all that. All
the decorations,
all that stuff.
I used to. Well, I do crochet, and I haven't crocheted for a couple of years now, and I would do some kind of crocheting like garland and stuff like that, and I'll put it around the house and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of fun. It's my when I do my crocheting, it kind of like relaxes me and all that kind of good stuff, and it makes me feel happy that when the project is done, So and did your mother ever? Because I sent them to his mother.
The Nutcrackers.
The Nutcrackers, the stuff that I had crocheted. Did she even?
Yeah.
Place them out.
I had a tradition where I would buy 2 or 3 Nutcrackers every year. And I had some nice ones. So when we moved, rather than give them away, I shipped them up and sent them to my mom. And my mom actually sent me a picture on FaceTime that she actually has got them out because she likes them too. But they're the ones that I liked. They were actually hand carved, and I had one that was like 4 feet, and then I had little tiny ones of about 4 inches. And I had the whole bunch.
There must have been what was it, 6 different sizes?
Yeah, and it just everywhere. But
it kind of went to my hip, the biggest one.
Yeah, but so anyway, I'll have to start collecting those again. But I like Nutcrackers and stuff like that. But yeah. And anyway, I'll get newer and better ones and faster ones.
They might be different over here. We could probably get what is it? Leprechaun ones or something. I don't know. They may have them here.
But other than that, I think Christmas is, and everything in life is what you make it. And if you choose to be miserable, you're going to have a bad Christmas. And I understand people have bad memories, people die or whatever, or they think of grandma who is dead now. But that's all life, and but if you choose to have a bad memory, then you're going to have a bad time.
I think it's the way you
look at life.
You'll have a good Christmas if you allow it.
Right, exactly. If you want to, yeah.
Because that's a horrible thing, about a death in the family, and just or even a friend, and then Christmas comes and you're just kind of like, what do you do with surviving grief, through the holiday season sort of thing? It's
hard. Well, and the other thing is, a lot of people at Christmas time, they feel pressure to go out and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on gifts, and that's really not what Christmas is all about. Christmas is about being with the people you care for, good food, having a couple of drinks, and then having a good time. And to me, my gift is actually going there and being around people. To me, it's nice to get a $4,000 iMac for Christmas, but I don't expect it.
Yes, that would be nice.
It'd be nice, but
it'd be nice to have one.
But I don't expect it, and I'm not disappointed. Therefore, if you don't expect it, you're not disappointed if you don't get it.
Yeah, when we first came into this apartment, I thought that was kind of cool because I never thought that with the internet that that service provider, they were going to give you a free iPad.
No, it wasn't a pad. It was a regular tablet, but still.
A regular tablet.
Yeah.
After the 14 days of trial.
Yeah, because you have 14 days to cancel your policy. So
No, so that would have been a nice gift, But the technician wasn't supposed to be out until January 10th. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. So.
So we just went to somewhere sooner. I couldn't live without the internet now. It's just it's just one of those things. Nobody could live without it.
Yeah, well.
No TV or anything. I felt like I was back in the 1800s. Where there's no TV, there's no internet,
Yeah.
there's no computers, and all that kind of stuff. So you had to entertain yourself.
With Laura and Mary Ingalls and Pa.
Yeah, the Little House on the Prairie.
With Miss Nellie, who was the evil one. Yeah. Anyway, I watched. There's Netflix has actually got a lot of good Christmas movie on it. They keep adding more each year, so that's nice because over here, like in the States, Lifetime and whatever, they have their own dedicated Christmas movie like channel. So there is one here, but it's not the same. But it's nice because I like to watch the Christmas movies.
Yeah, I've always liked the Hallmark Channel.
The Hallmark Channel ones are
Hallmark,
good, but
they don't have it here.
No, because I think Hallmark is associated with the United States because the cards, the greeting cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Hallmark actually has good movies. Of course, I still gotta watch the drama, like putting on Braxton Family Values and Little Women of Pakistan, or whatever. All the little shows.
Atlanta. There's quite a few Little Women.
Yeah, there is.
Of New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Los Angeles, Texas,
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but. So anyway, it's going to be a good Christmas, and
it's going to be a really good Christmas. I'm like, it'll be nice to see my aunt. Where I used to live with her back in the '90s, and it'll be nice to celebrate it with her once again. And but like I said, I have to earlier in the show that I've actually I have to contact my uncle to see if. What time he's going to actually pick us up. I heard 9:00 in the morning.
I think so too, but
on Christmas Day, and spend the whole day there. There's no bus services, because we don't have a vehicle yet, so
and cabs are very expensive.
Cabs are very expensive, and it takes about 30 minutes to get out to Derry.
Yeah.
And there's no bus service on Christmas Day either. We were going to rent out a vehicle, but that's expensive,
Yeah, because you're spending €300 on rent a car when you actually buy a car for like €500. So you may as well not rent a car and buy a car. It's not going to be a grand car, but it'll get from point A to point B. And that's all you need to do. Yeah. So anyway, I'm starting to yawn. Whew, yeah. Sorry.
I think it's time to make dinner. I'm starting to get hungry.
I'm gonna make dinner.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna share. Sorry. No, you can have some.
Well, we're gonna end this podcast. I hope that you guys are gonna have like a good, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you all, and I will catch you guys. We'll catch you. Are you coming to the next podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we work together pretty well.
Yeah. Well.
Together.
Yeah. Well, I 10 years. So yeah, I guess we did.
Yeah. And so I hope you guys are going to be having this is actually Christmas Eve, right now. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, Christmas weekend that is.
Yeah.
As well as Christmas Day. And
stay safe.
Stay safe. If you guys are going to be out driving, don't drink.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And we'll catch you guys, in the next podcast.
Okay. Bye.
All right. You guys take care and be safe.